All right, hey, welcome back. Episode 10, Bombing Diaries. How's it going? It's been a little bit since I've been here talking to you guys. What has gone on? Mics, doing mics, of course. Um, I going back into my minds of when I did these because I was gone for technically I was gone for 2 weeks almost, like being gone for a week, but then in between is the getting back and getting settled. So not doing mics, writing and stuff was fun, but finally, yeah, just kind of getting out there doing that. I am definitely enjoying the writing process, and almost like enjoying the bombs as well. Like they do suck, but being able to see what the good things are, when I say certain things on stage and I'm like, okay, that wasn't that funny, but I can connect the dots and maybe this can tweak this. That's half the battle is me trying to, not only trying to find different rooms to perform in different front of different people, so not the same people are seeing it over and over again, but also trying out different buttons to the jokes, different things. Being like, oh, does that word work better, or does that word work? It's just something like that. Like, what what is going to get a bigger laugh? But I don't know. I think for sure it's one of those things that it's you know even now going and watching more comedy. I'm seeing it. I'm seeing like this is just it is. It's an art form, but it's also a skill set. And I mean, not saying art forms aren't skill sets, but it's just seeing how the brain works. I had a teacher once tell me, if you don't use it, you lose it, and that wasn't anything derogatory at all. It was, she was speaking in the form of your instincts. If you have an instinct to do something, but you don't act on that in the form of like acting, then you kind of it's almost like your brain goes, oh, well, that wasn't a good instinct, cool, then we won't remember to do that. But if you constantly act on your instincts, your brain will automatically create more of those moments. That's kind of how it is for comedy, where it's just constantly putting yourself in those positions, even to bomb, to learn how to roll with the punches and learn how to go, okay, that wasn't funny, acknowledge that that wasn't funny, and then keep going with it, rather than be a deer in the headlights and be like, oh, I thought that was going to be amazing and they were going to laugh and they didn't laugh. Okay, what do I do next? No, that's perfect. So that's kind of where I'm at. Um, Trying to still get my type fives down and stuff. I actually have so much. It's funny because I actually now am in a place where I have so much material, and it's not that much comparative, but it's still quite a bit. We're trying to figure out a good five. It's now I'm in a place of just figuring out. Okay, I know maybe my first minute or so how I can start most shows, kind of expressing who I am, but then scattering in, and depending on when I go in a show or depending on when I go in a lineup or whatever, I can then go, okay, people are laughing at this, or oh, this is what people are talking about. Oh, I can piggyback off of this because I've been doing so much writing. It just allows for me to have more things in my repertoire of things to talk about, you know, which I think I mentioned before. Is it's like something where people are like, oh my god, that was so on the spot. Like you just came up with that, huh? That's funny. Yes, kind of, but sometimes it might be because I already wrote something about it and you just triggered a memory that connects to it, and I can connect to that story, you know. I might not have a story about, I don't know, you buying apples that you are talking about or something, but your favorite produce is apples, I don't know. But I can then go, oh, but that reminds me, but my favorite thing to buy, blah blah blah, and then I can have a story, something that's in my arsenal of things to talk about. So for sure, that's what's nice. Is just building that up and having kind of and trying to stay as organized as I can with that. And my each kind of premise. Sometimes premises start out as really small, just a small premise, and some then they build into a full on story, or I have like 3 premises that actually turn into one big joke, um, which that's always fun. And then also being able to then take the idea of not rushing it. I'm sure I rush on stage sometimes, and that's why I record myself to see and watch. Not only just hear audio, but also visually to see what I'm doing. And because I'm very an active and, I emotions and move around a lot. And so seeing what actually is connecting. And then I can, go from there and like I can listen to myself go, okay, you sped up there. Oh, the joke wasn't doing good. You sped up. You got nervous. Because when we get nervous, we speed up. People talk too much when they're nervous, or, and when you're, especially in comedy, when you're like, oh crap, that was not funny. And now you're like, oh, okay, well, there we go. I'll just speed it up. I'll just talk really fast and then I'll get to the end of this. Okay, on to the next thing. Instead, sometimes it's just owning that is bad and just slowing it down even. Because sometimes, even they see, like, again, back to the same acting coach, what you're talking about, the people who speak fast are not in control, usually. Unless that's what they're known for. There's always different whatchamacallit, to each situation. But for the most part. And then the leading role people, the ones who are like take charge, or like, oh, that guy knows what he's doing, slow, confident pace. So in moments when I feel like it's not going the way I want it to, the hardest thing to do and the thing you need to do is pull on that brake. Pull on that brake and slow down and go, no, this might not be going the way I want it to. You, as the audience, might not be liking it, but I am still up here with the mic and in charge. So I'm going to pull on the brake, slow it down a bit, and not be all, oh, I got to scurry into the corner because I'm afraid. No, that's not how that works. So definitely working on that. What else? Yeah, I mean, it's trying to stay consistent is always hard. Trying to, it's the same thing as we always say over and over again. You got to keep getting up there on mics, try it out. Just same thing as doing jiu-jitsu or any martial art, getting out there, keep getting on the mat. And I enjoy it because just like martial arts, even though I've been doing it for years, and I'm still, I'm good at it. I'm not great or anything. I'm not any of that. I'm good enough to keep going back, but bad enough to keep getting my butt kicked. Still wanting to, maybe a masochist at some heart. Maybe that's also why I do comedy. But there's just moments of like I am able to fully. It's like it's constantly growing. So even when I go do an open mic, which now that I've been doing it again, even still, it's like, do I even want to go do this? It's in front of the same people who've already seen my bits. Do we do it? Do we do it? And then when I go do it, I get off, just like going to the gym or anything, and you're like, okay, cool, I'm glad I did it. Sometimes no, there's a small chance, but most of the time you feel good about doing it. You worked out some things, and then you're like, oh, I wish I would have said this, or oh, I could have done this. Especially if I'm not doing it as much, not as much mics as I used to do, so it's like definitely, it's like, I wish I had more time, or I wish I could do a second mic, or a third, to really work out some things or try some new stuff that I just added in, or try some old stuff that I tweaked. But yeah, I enjoy it very much. And yeah, I think it's good. I think we're doing it, I got through that first, I want to say not quarter of getting back on the mic, because February-ish when I started back. So it's like, now it's here, went on a trip. Now I don't have another trip for a while, so it's like just getting back working, got to keep the roof over your head. But then also getting back out there on mics, doing this, filming for people as well, making posters, which I've been glad to help and get paid for. A friend of mine, Anthony Morello, had me made some of his flyers for his upcoming tours, which is nice. And then he also has a show at the Comedy Store in July, which is going to be great. Gonna be there, hanging out, filming, maybe even do some time. It'd be great. And so I'm kind of just working towards that moment to really, it's only gonna be 5 minutes if I am on stage, but really just feel good about that, which I feel like it's actually, just like at the haha where it's like I just went up last minute, I did good. Now I have time to overthink it if it's possible. So now I'm going to overthink it, and that's almost worse. So it's definitely something that I've been thinking about, trying not to get nervous about. But I just got to keep doing it. I got to reach out more, kind of connect more, get on other people's shows, even if I could just do drop-ins. I don't need to be on the flyer. Just give me a drop-in, I'm not quite ready yet to be promoting and being like, hey, come to the show, I just want some drop-ins. Give me 5 minutes in front of a live audience, a real audience, to test out this material. And then if you still like me, then put me on your next show. That's kind of where I'm at. While still doing some open mics and stuff. This week, going store, hang out, open mics. Yeah, today I'm going to go do a mic, which... if you're watching this is already a few days earlier. But yeah, so this weekend, doing some mics, hanging out, a friend's birthday, and gonna enjoy ourselves, just enjoy it while also taking care of your body, eating, trying to get back on an eating healthy regimen, going to the gym more often on top of jiu-jitsu. Just staying active, because if you get sick, then it derails all of it. So I really look forward to this next few weeks, this next month. The end of this month is going to take a little bit to get back on track after the trip, getting money on track and everything, but for sure, just keeping steady with it and keeping that consistent while not beating myself up about it, But then, this is episode 10. That was awesome. I've done 10 episodes. Did skip a week. Try to be more consistent coming up. I did have the trip, and I just made some excuses. But again, now on YouTube, now on Spotify, Apple, some other ones. Follow, share, comment. If you have watched this whole episode, it's the 10th one. I don't know. Comment hashtag 10 or number 10 or 10 TEN on my posts, so I can see who's finished the episodes all the way. And this is another episode of the Bombing Diaries podcast with your host, Garen Atencio. Have a good one, guys. Peace.